ho ho! Merry Christmas! It is I, Big Time Jimmy Larson, welcoming you to my Christmas edition of At the Movies. Seeing as it is Christmas Day, we are going to look at my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Sadly, this is the final Christmas movie on this countdown this year. Hope to do some more over future years. But we are going out with, as I said, my favorite. We are going to be looking at the 1984 television movie, It Came Upon the Midnight Clear, starring Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney!
So in this movie, Mickey Rooney stars as a character named Mike, who was a New York detective for many years. He's now since been retired. And he's currently in California with his daughter at her house. She has her two children and her husband, and he's there with them. And he's not a fan of Christmas in California. Besides the lack of snow, everything is just so much different in California for Christmas, even the Christmas trees.
I thought Christmas trees were supposed to be green, huh?
So, in this movie, Mike wants to show his grandson, Robbie, who, years later, by the way, the kid playing this kid, he would go on to voice Steve on American Dad. But this ain't American Dad. So, here's, Mike wants to take his grandson, Robbie, to New York City for the Christmas holiday, because in Mike's own words, there's no better place to be at Christmas than in New York City. So, his plan is to take Robbie there, and everything is all set, but things don't always go as planned. So as I said, things don't always go as planned, and they don't go as planned here. Because basically Mike is putting up the Christmas lights when he has a heart attack and he dies. And you see, he sees the light here and he follows the golden steps up to heaven, where he arrives at the pearly gates. But when he's up there, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be able to show Robbie that time of his life in New York City for Christmas. So he speaks to the archangel, sorry, and you can see that here. He's talking to the archangel because the archangel has a problem of his own. And see, it seems that they have an angel that goes down every year at Christmas, and he spreads Christmas joy throughout New York City, which is starting to make sense. That's why New York City is the place to be at Christmas time. However, this year, the angel disappeared. He never returned. So he's basically a fallen angel now. And they need to find him before Christmas, or it's going to be crucial to heaven. It's not totally explained why. But so they think that up above, upper management, they think that they sent for Mike to come to heaven to help the archangel, due to the fact that Mike was a New York City detective for all those years. So they want Mike to help them find this missing angel who is using a mortal name of Wiley Boggs. And if Mike can find him, well, they'll do him the favor of letting him come back to life just for the time being until Christmas, so he can take Robbie to New York City and work on finding the fallen angel at the same time. And Mike, of course, agrees to the deal, and he comes back to life.
What was that?
Hey, where's my brown bag? I gotta get going. What's going on here?
You said he had no pulse, no heartbeat.
He didn't. You were dead. Dead? Do I look dead?
I better check the equipment.
So after coming back to life, Mike, well, he still wants to bring Robbie to New York City, and he has to now because he's made a deal with the archangel that, he's going to go to New York and help them find Wiley Boggs, the fallen angel. But Robbie's parents, they're against this. Mike's daughter and her husband, they don't want him to take Robbie to New York City. The man just had a heart attack, whereas the father thinks he faked a heart attack. But yeah, so he sneaks off in the middle of the night with Robbie, and they do head off to New York City. And the first thing they do is get in a cab.
My death wasn't an accident. He needed me.
Well, what happens after you find him, Papa? Do you have to go back to heaven?
A deal is a deal, my boy.
How long did you have?
The Archangel said I had until Christmas.
But what happens when it becomes Christmas?
Time's up.
And another thing, what is going on with this? I mean, he's got till Christmas, but what do you mean he's got till Christmas? He died in California, but now he's in New York. So does he have till Christmas New York time? Does he have till Christmas in California time? How can they not tell us these things? How can they just expect us to know? How can they do any of this? I just don't get it. I mean... Sorry about that. So, Mike learns, like I said, that he's got until Christmas to spend time with Robbie while also trying to track down Wiley Boggs. But again, he wants to spend time with Robbie so that he can show him what New York City Christmas is all about. However, New York City Christmas, Mike soon learns, is not the happy-go-lucky place that it once was. It's definitely has changed.
What do you see?
There's 3 elves.
Yeah.
And they're having a food fight.
What?
And Santa's wife's trying to stop them. Wait, now some man's in the window. And they're smacking him with pies.
Pies? Did you say pies?
Wow, jeez, Mickey, you sure sound hungry for pie.
Did you say pies?
That's my pie.
So, Annie Potts is also in this movie, and she is tremendous in this movie. She plays as Cindy, who is a news reporter, who every year she gets her favorite assignment to go out and find the best Christmas spirit story for the Christmas Eve broadcast of the news. And it's always fun for her because, again, New York City, it's always a happy-go-lucky place at Christmas time. So she even talks about how the year previously she had hours and hours of footage and had to just kind of skim through it to find the best story. But this year here, she's having a lot of trouble.
Pull over. Might be a story.
Cindy Mills reporting from City Hall. Let's get this back to the station. And going crazy if I don't get this story for the 6 o'clock news tomorrow night.
You gonna answer that?
Quit better jobs than this. Ghostbusters, what do you want?
So Mike decides to visit his former priest for help, and...
Stand there and not talk, huh? I understand. I've aged.
So Mike and Robbie eventually, they do track down Wiley Boggs, and he's dressed like Santa Claus. And the way that Mickey's looking at him, it's almost like, man, you're a poor excuse for a Santa. What, does Mickey think that he could do better as Santa Claus? Maybe he did do that once, or maybe twice, or I don't know. Maybe that's the year that we're all better off if that's the year without a Santa Claus. Or who knows, maybe Santa Claus is coming to town. Or maybe Mickey himself thinks that he would do better himself just dressed like Santa Claus. I don't know. Seems like a pretty full house there. Anyway, so Wiley, he explains to Mike and Robbie how to spread the Christmas cheer.
How do you do it? How do you spread the cheer?
Oh, it's easy. Just a kind word here, a little encouragement there. My favorite is to find a particularly grumpy person and turn them around.
And so Robbie and Mike, they decide to do just that.
Hello, we want to wish you the merriest of Christmases.
Why don't you buzz off?
So it's Christmas Eve, and Cindy goes live on the air, on the news, to basically tell the world that she has no story this year. And like I said, this is where she tells about how she ended up with hours of footage the year previously, and this year it's just not happening. She couldn't find a single story that would work. She even found a guy who was born on Christmas, and he's celebrating like his 100th birthday. But unfortunately, he doesn't feel like celebrating this year, so even that fell through. And the news people in the newsroom, they're looking at this as, where's she going with this? Let's just pull the plug on her, because this is going nowhere. But then Mike saves the day.
You take Christmas for granted. You say, I don't have to do anything. You're wrong. Christmas isn't anything unless you do something about it. Not the other guy. You. Hey, I know that guy, but you've let me down. You've said it's a tough year. We've had tough years before. Look, I'm talking like an old fool, but the fact is that I do know what is wrong. I really do. You've all given up. There's still time. Just smile.
Martini. Make it a double. Not too dry, and I want...
Quiet! We want to hear this guy.
And we still have the time. Hear me? Get up. It's Christmas. Go outside and go next door and wish your neighbor a Merry Christmas. Go outside and show everybody just how you feel. Sing your favorite carol. Come on, sing it. Joy to the world. The Lord has come. Sing!
So Mike and Robbie, they go on a horse carriage ride through Central Park, and Mike delivers one final great message.
And Papa, I learned the most important thing of all.
What was that?
Christmas is what you make of it.
Life is what you make of it.
And then, sadly, Mike does die in the carriage because he has to go back to heaven because it's midnight. And Robbie is like, it's snowing. They gave us a white Christmas. I've never seen snow before because he lives in California normally. So it's a sad ending. It's a happy ending. You can't really tell. It does make you cry. So it's even harder to tell. Am I happy? Am I sad? Maybe a bit of both. You're sad that he died, but at the same time, you're happy that he got to have that moment of Christmas with his grandson. You're happy because he put you in the spirit. Because when he gives that speech, every single time I see it, it's really good. But yeah, it's sad too, like I said, that he died. So that's my review of It Came Upon the Midnight Clear. As I said, this is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I absolutely love Mickey Rooney's speech in this movie. Every year when I see this movie, if I'm not in the Christmas spirit, that speech automatically boosts my Christmas spirit and puts me in the Christmas spirit. And it's followed up by a lot of great singing, which obviously I couldn't show you here. But if you can somehow track down a copy of this movie, I highly recommend that you do. I actually had a friend watch it recently, and she liked it, but she did think it was sad, but she also really did enjoy it. And she didn't think it was her favorite, but she could see why I like it so much. It's been a favorite tradition of mine. I originally seen it in school, and then ever since, like I said, it's become my favorite Christmas movie. So that's going to wrap it up, not only for this review, but also for Christmas week. And also, this is even bigger. It's also the final review I will do in 2020. Why? Well, because next week we'll be back with another review, but it will be January 1st. It will be New Year's Day, 2021. Yep, the first review of 2021 coming your way next week. If you want to know what the movie will be early, check out tomorrow night on the podcast of What's Going Down podcast live. I will reveal the title as I always do. There's a link in the description below where you can check out that channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and subscribe to the other one as well. And again, I'm Big Time Jimmy Larson. Again, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you all have a great, wonderful holiday. And I will see you next week in 2021. Thanks for watching.
Merry Christmas!